Rixon as part of our Business Book Awards Finalists 2026 series. A mouthful, I know, but it's so much fun doing these. Angela is the author of Meaning Over Purpose, the CEO's strategic blueprint for growth and lasting engagement. And first of all, Angela, congratulations. How does it feel being shortlisted?
Oh my gosh, honestly, I was so made up, just so excited. Oh yeah, it's just been such a wonderful endorsement.
Yeah, amazing. I'm going to come on to that the how you reacted thing in a minute, actually. But first of all, tell me why you wrote this book.
So I felt that over 20 plus years of working in organizations and working with a lot of leaders in different capacities, that I really see sort of leaders today, and have for a while, as the squeezed middle. And that means that at a kind of CEO level, there's challenges around how do you deliver the vision? How do you do that through markets? How do you do that through your people? What does that mean when you get to your middle management? How are they trying to translate some of that vision into something that employees really understand and can get behind? And also at the same time, what employees need is different. So what I really wanted to do is to distill my perspective of working with leaders, some of my own experiences, and really recognizing the context of change that we are going through. And actually, what does that mean today? Because I think we've been using a playbook that doesn't actually work anymore. It's not fit for purpose. So I wanted to offer something that was timely, that would deliver some immediate needs as well as be an enduring resource.
And I know it's really implicit in the title, but I really want to just draw out for people who maybe haven't encountered the book yet, that the
Mm,
point about meaning over purpose, and you've sort of implied it there, that the relentless focus on purpose that we've had.
mm.
Why do you think that isn't everything? It's not the whole story.
Yeah, I think the great thing about purpose is it does give that North Star, it gives that direction. The challenge is on a day to day basis, what are people experiencing at work? What does that really feel like for them? And actually, I think there's a huge disconnect. And part of that disconnect is because leaders are under so much pressure. They're focusing on the day to day tasks, they're in high control, they're in telling. So, therefore, what they're struggling with is to really translate the organization purpose into something that feels meaningful for their team. And then the other side of it is what people want from work has changed. So it's less about just the extrinsic motivators of a good job and a salary increase and progression. It's also about work having more meaning. And what does that mean? Well, that means that they feel that the work is aligned to who they are and their strengths, that it is about making a difference. It could be making a difference to clients, to their colleagues, to the wider community. But also, that meaning is about their felt experience of work. Do I feel that I've got enough autonomy in my job? I understand what the job is, but how I do it, do I have some autonomy around that? Do I feel like I've got good connection with the people that I'm working with, particularly with the context of hybrid, where sometimes that connection can feel like it's getting looser and is getting lost? Those things become more important.
And I'm just about to ask you, why does this matter so much? Why does it matter? And which we're beautifully segueing into, but that point about people's lived experience of work, and that point about purpose and the kind of goal of the organisation not being the whole story. Why is that so important right now? Do you think?
I think because there is so much pressure in the system. So we've got these four forces around AI coming in. There's a real sense of like overwork and burnout in the workforce at the moment. I mean, every individual that I'm coaching, whether they're a leader or more junior, really struggling with the pace of change and the load. And then with something like hybrid, it has fundamentally changed the way that we work. And at the moment, I think we're still trying to get it to navigate back to how we worked before. And actually, the genie's out of the bottle. So it's really thinking about what do we need to do that's different, that's going to really make something like hybrid work. And then the final thing is generational differences. So we're now working with 4 generations in the workplace, soon to be 5. And that starts to create complexity around what expectations are of work, and meaning and values has become more important for younger generations, although arguably it's also important for all generations. So the power of looking something like meaning is that it does translate all of those generations as well, so you get an uplift across all of it.
And I think I'd probably argue it has always been important, but perhaps younger generations are insisting upon it in a way that previous generations might not have done or might not have expected to have.
Yes, and they're voting with their feet. So if there's two comparable jobs with similar salary, they will go with the job that's got the more meaning. And actually, I was talking to somebody the other day who's 25, and they were saying they will make decisions to stay or leave based on the meaning that they get from work and actually the purpose of the organization. So if it's like working for an organization that feels less purposeful versus one that's more purposeful, they are naturally moving towards the more purposeful ones.
Yeah, so interesting. And quite right too. Love that. And yeah, so let's touch back on that sort of your lived experience of being a shortlisted. How did you react when you discovered that you were a finalist?
To be honest, I was shocked, and I was sort of thinking, well, I just think they was such a great category in the leadership category, such a brilliant set of authors. I'm a first-time author, so I was just shocked, to be honest, that I had made it in. So that was amazing, and I think it was also because I talk about meaning, and meaning is in response to some really clear business challenges, some leadership challenges, but nevertheless, meaning can be seen as something that's a bit soft. So it was brilliant that it sort of made it into an important leadership category. And then secondly, also the method, the style that I wrote the book in, because I'd done a lot of primary research underpinned by secondary research, but also lived experience of working myself and working with different leaders. I wrote it as a fictional story, and I did that on purpose because I wanted the reader to really relate to Sarah, the CEO, but also recognize it's not just about what Sarah does, it's about all of the other cast of players in the story. So it's about the leaders, it's about HR, it's about the change team, it's about employees on the ground. We've all got a role to play to how we create a better working world, how we create a better working culture. And ultimately, I think the power of the book is in creating like effectively self-directed teams and individuals with the nirvana that leaders are inspiring and creating some guardrails and foundations. But actually, what we really need today is for employees to be taking the ownership and the opportunity of work and feeling really connected to that meaning. So I'm so glad that sort of landed and resonated with the judges.
Yeah, I think it's so important. I'm not at all surprised. I was much less shocked than you. So, Angela, we will keep everything crossed for awards evening on the 16th of September. Whatever happens, we're going to have the best night, right?
We definitely will. And I just want to say thank you to you, Alison. Way back when, from doing the 10-day challenge, and you were recommended to me by an author from PIP when I was doing my master's. So it feels like such a full circle moment that, wow, here I am. I've authored a book. I'm part of this brilliant business book award category. So honestly, I'm so made up and delighted. So thank you.
Oh, well, I'm delighted to have been part of it. Amazing. Thank you so much, Angela. It's been an absolute treat talking to you.
See you at the gala.